In the unfolding mystery of the interstellar object known as 3I Atlas, one of the most extraordinary revelations of recent months has been the growing evidence that the visitor is not traveling alone. Instead, scientists studying its behavior throughout the month of November 2025 now suggest that a sprawling swarm of companion objects trails close behind it, subtly influencing its appearance and the strange teardrop glow that has puzzled astronomers since its passage around the Sun. The earliest clues emerged from post-perihelion imaging, when telescopes captured Atlas with a distinctly elongated coma. Instead of forming the symmetric cloud typically associated with natural comets, its coma stretched into a delicate, narrow extension, pointing almost directly toward the Sun. This teardrop structure, extending roughly an arc-minute across the sky, indicated that something unusual was shaping the surrounding dust and reflective material. At the same time, researchers monitoring Atlas through the Jet Propulsion Laboratory Horizon system reported a faint but consistent non-gravitational acceleration acting upon the object. The magnitude of this force, measured as a fraction equal to roughly 2/10,000ths of the Sun's gravitational pull, behaved curiously. As Atlas moved closer or farther from the Sun, the non-gravitational acceleration scaled precisely with the inverse square of the heliocentric distance, the very same relationship that governs the Sun's own gravitational force. This meant the ratio between the two accelerations remained constant throughout its orbit, effectively modifying the way the object moved through space. This observation alone raised questions, but the implications grew even more profound when researchers considered what would happen if Atlas were surrounded by many smaller objects that did not share this unusual acceleration. If the main body was being gently pushed away from the Sun, even by a small fraction, the swarm would fail to follow its altered trajectory. Instead, they would remain slightly closer to the Sun, drifting ahead of the object's sunward side, creating a persistent anti-tail geometry. To understand the scale of this separation, astronomers applied the measured fraction to the current heliocentric distance of Atlas, which in November was approximately 270 million kilometers from the Sun. The calculation revealed that any companions would drift about 54,000 kilometers closer to the Sun than the primary object, a distance that translates to roughly 0.7 arc-minutes of angular separation. Remarkably, this value matches the observed extension of the teardrop coma, suggesting that the bright, sunward-facing glow is not solely the product of evaporating material from Atlas itself, but rather the reflection of sunlight from an entire cloud of nearby bodies. The size of this hypothetical swarm also carries astounding implications. Even if the objects collectively held only a tiny fraction of the mass of Atlas, their combined surface area could vastly exceed that of the main body. For instance, 1 trillion individual pieces, each extremely small and each contributing only a whisper of mass, would nevertheless generate a reflective area 100 times greater than that of Atlas alone. In such a scenario, 99% of the light seen in the coma could originate from the swarm rather than the object at the center. This interpretation aligns with the Hubble Space Telescope images captured on the 21st of July, 2025, which showed that the nucleus contributed only a minuscule portion of the total observed brightness. Perhaps most intriguing is the persistence of the phenomenon. Because the non-gravitational acceleration scales in the same way as the solar gravitational field, the swarm maintains a stable structure throughout the object's journey. Whether Atlas approached the Sun or now moves steadily away, the angular extent remains nearly unchanged. This means the teardrop shape is not a temporary feature. It is an intrinsic signature of the relationship between the object and the mysterious companions surrounding it. If these fragments are indeed real, they raise profound questions. Are they natural rocky pieces shed long ago? Are they stable components of a larger system? Or, as some researchers quietly wonder, do they indicate something even more elaborate? A coordinated cluster of non-evaporating objects with a purpose yet unknown. In the last few hours, social media platforms have erupted with reports claiming that 3I Atlas transmitted a message to Earth. What began as scattered whispers across niche communities quickly escalated into a storm of viral posts, reaching hundreds of thousands of people in mere hours. The story gained traction because it coincided with fresh telescope data released to select research groups, and soon speculation turned into widespread suspicion that something monumental had just taken place. On the 5th of June, 2025, the SETI Institute confirmed that a narrowband radio signal had been received from the direction of Kepler 442b, a potentially habitable exoplanet located roughly 1,200 light-years away. For over 4 decades, SETI has scanned the skies in search of meaningful transmissions, logging and analyzing thousands of unusual bursts of static, pulsar noise, and satellite interference. But this signal stood apart from the rest. It did not arrive randomly. It repeated. Even more surprising, the signal's modulation patterns carried unmistakable traces of structure, as if encoded language had been woven into its intervals. Scientists who compared it to traditional codes like Morse noted the resemblance, but stressed that it was far more complex, with levels of organization beyond any natural explanation. The first press briefing revealed how extraordinary this find was. Dr. Leena Ramani, an astrophysicist from Berkeley who had long collaborated with SETI, addressed the world. Her voice trembled as she described the phenomenon. She admitted that it was unlike anything the Institute had ever encountered and acknowledged that the patterns bore the unmistakable hallmarks of intelligence. She stopped short of drawing absolute conclusions, but made it clear the discovery was far beyond ordinary space noise. Then the stream abruptly cut off, mid-question, and never returned. Viewers initially thought it was a technical glitch, but when the press conference vanished entirely without follow-up, unease began to spread. 2 days later, on the 7th of June, an anonymous user on an underground forum posted what they claimed was an internal NASA briefing document. While the source seemed questionable, the file contained technical data that was far too elaborate to dismiss. Spectrograms, waveform breakdowns, encryption models, and even AI-assisted translations were included. The most shocking part was a partial transcript of the decoded message. It stated, "We have watched. We come in cycles. You are not alone. Prepare." The starkness of the words fueled an online firestorm. Independent researchers, data analysts, and amateur astronomers rushed to examine the document, cross-referencing its content against known signal analysis techniques. The thread exploded across platforms, leaping from online forums that investigate the unknowns of our world to mainstream social media, with entire communities working in real time to unravel the mystery. By the 9th of June, the information vanished. Threads were deleted, accounts banned, links erased. Even archived snapshots disappeared. To many, this erasure only reinforced the suspicion that something genuine had slipped out. 2 days later, on the 11th of June, the White House issued a carefully worded statement. It acknowledged that anomalies had been detected in communication arrays, but insisted there was no evidence suggesting an intelligent origin. The message also urged the public to ignore misinformation spreading on unofficial platforms. That same day, NASA's Deep Space Network went offline for what they described as scheduled maintenance. SETI's official website locked into restricted access, and the Allen Telescope Array livestream, once running around the clock, displayed only an error page. The timing of these shutdowns was too precise to be dismissed as coincidence. Soon after, a whistleblower using the alias Jake stepped forward. He had previously worked with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and his credentials were verified before his profile was scrubbed from the internet. He revealed that the transmission had not been a one-way occurrence. Earth's scientists had sent a ping back to the source, and multiple responses had been received in return. These replies were transmitted across different frequencies, carrying the unmistakable fingerprints of intelligence. When pressed further about the content of the new messages, he revealed only that it was not a threat, but an invitation. Despite the magnitude of this revelation, media coverage dwindled. Major networks avoided the story, independent journalists reported unusual difficulties in publishing, and podcast episodes covering the subject vanished from their platforms. Even notable scientists who spoke out seemed to retract their statements. Neil deGrasse Tyson briefly wrote that first contact might not be dramatic, but instead strangely ordinary, only to delete the remark shortly afterward. What should have been the most significant news of the century seemed to dissolve into silence. As the days passed, strange visual phenomena were reported in the skies. On the 15th of June, Amateur astronomers in Chile, Japan, and Canada began documenting flashes of light from the direction of Kepler 442b. Unlike supernovas or stellar bursts, these appeared as deliberate pulses, repeating in a pattern: 3 flashes, followed by 6, then 3 again, in cycles occurring roughly every 19 hours. Some observers linked the sequence to the original transmission intervals. Others speculated it might be a countdown or a form of secondary communication. The absence of confirmation from mainstream observatories only deepened the mystery. While governments and institutions maintained silence, the public conversation spread through social media, encrypted channels, and grassroots networks of skywatchers. Every new observation was shared, debated, and analyzed, but official acknowledgement remained absent. For those who had followed the story from the beginning, the sequence of events formed a clear timeline. A structured signal was received, it was decoded into an intelligible message, Earth responded, and multiple responses were sent back. Then came a coordinated effort to suppress public knowledge. The decoded phrase "prepare" became the focus of debate. What were humans being asked to prepare for? Some argued that it was an announcement of arrival, a warning that a presence was drawing nearer. Others believed it was an invitation for dialogue, a call for humanity to step beyond isolation and into a galactic community. A smaller group feared that the message signaled a shift in cycles, suggesting that whatever intelligence had reached out had done so many times before, always watching, always waiting, returning according to some unknown timetable. The flashes of light, repeating in their 363 pattern, were seen as proof that the message had extended beyond radio waves and into visual signaling. This dual-method communication demonstrated a sophistication that left little doubt as to its deliberate nature. Combined with the whistleblower's statement that Earth's response had been acknowledged, it formed a chain of evidence too compelling to ignore. The silence of institutions has become its own message. By withdrawing access, restricting data, and avoiding the subject in public forums, they have only confirmed the reality of the phenomenon to those who have seen the evidence. Instead of calming speculation, the silence has fueled suspicion that humanity stands on the edge of contact and that governments are struggling with how to manage the revelation. The events of June 2, 2025 mark a turning point in humanity's story. For decades, people speculated about the possibility of receiving a message from the stars. Few expected it to arrive with such clarity, repetition, and undeniable structure. Fewer still imagined that it would be followed by deliberate suppression and silence. Yet the facts remain. A message came. It was decoded. Earth replied, and the reply was answered. The truth of this moment may not be broadcast across televisions or printed in headlines, but it exists in the records of those who paid attention. It exists in the flashes of light witnessed by skywatchers, in the documents briefly leaked online, and in the words "prepare" that continue to echo in every conversation about what comes next. This individual shared a fascinating video on social media, capturing a substantial entity penetrating the clouds. Following its submission, the video spread across various groups, prompting researchers to delve deeper into its nature. According to the individual, while peering out of the airplane window, he noticed something peculiar in the distance. Hastily grabbing his camera, he commenced recording, emphasizing the discernible visibility of the object from a considerable distance. Moreover, he described the object as having 4 sizable arms that pierced through the layers of clouds. This intriguing occurrence led to widespread discussions as people endeavored to unveil the mystery behind this unprecedented sight. There was immediate speculation among individuals regarding the unidentified object, with some proposing that it could have been a nearby mountain. Despite the presence of multiple mountains exceeding 20,000 feet, it is challenging to accurately assess the altitude of the object in the footage. The troposphere contains clouds dispersed from 10,000 to 60,000 feet, further complicating the determination of the object's height. The individual who captured the footage disclosed their location as being en route from Bogotá to Medellín when they witnessed the object. They affirmed being familiar with the area and stated that the object did not resemble any known mountain. Additionally, they mentioned that the plane was at a high altitude during the sighting and emphasized the absence of any other nearby objects, pointing out the lack of mountainous terrain or elevated areas visible in the lower section of the footage. Upon observing a video capturing an aerial view from a high altitude, an individual expressed their genuine amazement at the unfamiliar sight. The observer explicitly conveyed their trust in the source of the recording due to their lack of prior experience flying over that specific area. The distinct aerial perspective presented a perplexing image to the observer, resembling an immense, four-armed structure intricately embedded within the clouds. This remarkable sighting evoked a sense of astonishment as the observer acknowledged the unprecedented nature of the spectacle. This interpretation reflects an in-depth and enriched understanding of the observer's profound reaction to the unique aerial anomaly. Not everyone was swayed by the evidence, contending that the individual who captured the video may have misjudged their orientation. They expressed doubt, suggesting that the aircraft was actually flying above a mountain that was piercing through the cloud line. Their argument centered on the unusual appearance being attributed to cloud cover enveloping specific sections of the mountain, creating the optical illusion of it having four prominent arms, which in reality it does not possess. As of the current moment, there has been no additional information made available regarding the photographs. Unidentified flying object sightings, especially when witnessed near aircrafts, have been a subject of fascination and contention for many years. The UFO phenomenon is intriguing due to the abundance of first-hand testimonies from pilots, aircrew members, and passengers who have witnessed encounters with enigmatic aerial objects. These testimonies depict UFOs as having diverse forms and dimensions, frequently exhibiting exceptional flight abilities that challenge our current understanding of physics. These compelling accounts contribute to the enigma and fascination surrounding UFO sightings, offering a comprehensive insight into the extraordinary nature of these phenomena. Pilots, especially, have consistently provided reliable reports of UFO sightings, drawing from their extensive training and intimate knowledge of the skies. Their testimonies describe encounters with UFOs that not only exhibit signs of intelligent control, but also showcase capabilities that far exceed those of conventional aircraft. These sightings have taken place during routine flights, military operations, and training exercises, adding substantial credibility to their narratives. The pilots' accounts are particularly noteworthy due to the detailed descriptions of the maneuvers executed by the UFOs, providing a comprehensive insight into their behavior and performance. These first-hand experiences, grounded in the expertise of skilled aviators, enrich our understanding of UFO phenomena and their interactions with our airspace. In 2004, there was a significant event involving US Navy pilots who came across an unidentified flying object along the California coast. These highly skilled aviators documented their observation of an object that lacked apparent wings, rotors, or exhaust plumes, while it remained suspended at low altitude before executing swift and erratic maneuvers. The encounter was substantiated by multiple witnesses, and it stands out as one of the most extensively documented UFO sightings in recent times. This incident raised significant intrigue and speculation in the realms of aviation and ufology, prompting thorough investigations and discussions regarding potential explanations for the peculiar and unexplained aerial phenomena. The mystery surrounding unidentified flying objects spotted in close proximity to aircraft extends far beyond mere hearsay and ventures into the domain of formal government records. Numerous governments, such as that of the United States, have disclosed formally secret documents pertaining to UFO sightings, offering a profound understanding of the gravity with which such occurrences have been handled by government authorities. This disclosure not only transcends anecdotal evidence, but also provides a comprehensive and in-depth exploration of the manner in which these instances have been addressed, highlighting the significance and gravity attached to them by various administrations. UFO sightings near aircraft continue to be a perplexing enigma, prompting a comprehensive exploration of the phenomenon from scientific standpoints. Numerous scientists and researchers have diligently endeavored to comprehend the underlying physics and mechanics of UFO encounters, acknowledging that the observed flight capacities present a formidable challenge to our existing knowledge of propulsion and aerodynamics. This in-depth analysis seeks to enrich our insight into the matter by delving into the complexities and intricacies of these unexplained aerial occurrences, shedding light on the enigmatic nature of these phenomena. One theory suggests that these unidentified flying objects might be sophisticated, extraterrestrial aircraft, or unmanned aerial vehicles. Advocates assert that these entities could utilize unconventional propulsion mechanisms like anti-gravity technology or electromagnetic propulsion to explain their remarkable velocity and agility. Although this hypothesis is based on speculation, it underscores the potential incompleteness of our comprehension of physics. This prompts further exploration and examination of the existing knowledge to accommodate the possible existence of such advanced technologies beyond our planet. From another comprehensive scientific standpoint, it is proposed that certain UFO sightings could potentially find an explanation in atmospheric and meteorological phenomena. It is suggested that optical illusions triggered by atmospheric abnormalities, such as temperature inversions or refractive conditions, might distort the perception and trajectory of entities in the sky. This comprehensive explanation, however, fails to encompass all UFO incidents, especially those observed by proficient pilots, well versed in distinguishing between traditional aircraft and unconventional aerial entities. An exceptionally intriguing element of this phenomenon is the consistent sighting of unidentified flying objects, displaying superior maneuvering capabilities when compared to fighter jets and military aircraft. The concept of unidentified flying objects, surpassing the maneuverability of jets, presents a significant challenge to our comprehension of physics and propulsion systems. Although the precise characteristics of these occurrences continue to evade us, scientific viewpoints provide captivating revelations regarding the potential technologies that could elucidate their extraordinary capabilities. Delving deeply into these scientific perspectives can enrich our understanding of the enigmatic UFO phenomena, shedding light on the diverse array of potential propulsion. One theory suggests that unidentified flying objects might utilize highly sophisticated propulsion mechanisms that function on principles beyond current comprehension in the scientific community. These mechanisms could potentially incorporate technology related to anti-gravity or propulsion techniques centered on the manipulation of space-time. If these capabilities were under the control of an extraterrestrial civilization or a secretive human endeavor, they could possibly explain the remarkable aerial maneuvers observed with UFOs. This implies that these UFOs might be utilizing propulsion systems that operate beyond the current scope of scientific understanding, leading to their astounding capabilities to move in ways that defy conventional aeronautical physics. Delving into an alternative scientific viewpoint, it is postulated that UFOs might employ electromagnetic propulsion, leveraging the potential of electromagnetic fields to navigate within the atmosphere. Although our own technological advancements are still in the nascent stages of harnessing electromagnetic propulsion, the prospect exists that highly advanced societies have acquired a level of expertise in this area, enabling them to adeptly outpace traditional aircraft through seamless maneuvering. This concept prompts contemplation on the potential capabilities of extraterrestrial civilizations and their mastery of a propulsion method that is yet to be fully realized within our own technological landscape. Moreover, certain experts propose that these unidentified flying objects might employ advanced materials and aerodynamic configurations that surpass anything attained by humans. These advanced materials, possessing distinct properties, could potentially empower UFOs to endure drastic temperatures, high speeds, and intense gravitational forces, thus facilitating their remarkable agility and maneuvering capabilities. This signifies that UFOs may be equipped with technology and materials far beyond our current understanding, providing them with unparalleled capabilities and performance in flight. Oddly enough, a number of researchers have noticed that unidentified objects seem to be interested in passenger planes, with some noting that mysterious objects have been observed following planes for several minutes. One potential explanation for the fascination of UFOs with aircraft could be their attraction to advanced technology. If we perceive UFOs as vehicles of extraterrestrial origin or as highly advanced human creations, it is logical to assume their inquisitiveness about Earth's technological progress. Notably, aircraft, especially commercial and military planes, represent some of the most intricate innovations engineered by humanity. They serve as a testament to our technological expertise, boasting cutting-edge propulsion systems and state-of-the-art avionics.